everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you are about to see here. All right, so thank you so much first for tuning into this episode. This is part 2 of my 2-part series where I am reorganizing my sinking funds and the cash envelopes that I use to house those. I am reorganizing because I've decided to streamline my sinking fund process, and also because I received some payout for a week's worth of unused personal days from work. So when I received that money, I was kind of thinking, what can I do with this? How can I best use this? And I decided that it could be best used to fund my sinking funds and, like I said, reorganize them, streamline them, and get down to what's most important right now as far as our savings goes. So I have 2 sets of cash here, and I will get into what each of these is all about. And I also have 2 sets of envelopes, and I just made these last night with my Cricut, and I made a black set, and I also made a set with some holographic paper or holographic vinyl on some craft paper. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use these and keep the black set as my backup, and I'll have those, you know, should these end up splitting or, you know, what have you. So my 4 categories moving forward are emergency funds, savings funds, Christmas club, and dogs. And I thought this could pretty much cover everything. The savings funds especially is going to be the umbrella for lots of different expenses, and I'll explain more what that means. Starting off though, I have an envelope for savings funds and emergency funds, and you're probably wondering what the difference is because these are very similar marked categories. So when I talk about savings funds, that's pretty much my catch-all. Not only do I want it just for savings as far as just extra money goes, but if I'm saving for something like new appliances, that used to be a cash envelope or a sinking fund category, vacation, anything that could basically come up that's not related to these other categories could fall under savings. So this is, like I said, a giant umbrella for lots of different causes and savings categories. So the emergency funds is actually what I am considering paying our bills every month. So if you have been watching my videos recently, you know that I have transitioned into paying all the bills every month on the first of the month if possible. So at least that's my goal moving forward. I was able to prepare for that by using our stimulus money to get almost a month ahead, not quite, but between the money I had left over from my previous paychecks and some savings money, I was able to create this emergency type fund where I pay everything pretty much a month in advance, and then the money that I make during that particular month will be for the next month. So what I'd like to do is get to the point where I have 6 months of bills ready to go at any given time. And that's something currently we don't have. So I think that that would be something I would be comfortable with, just because you never know what's going to happen. If it's not being laid off or laid off due to the coronavirus, it could be another medical issue, you know, where you find yourself not working. So I think that's pretty much the rule of thumb. If you can do it, save up 6 months worth of expenses, and that is considered an emergency fund. So a lot of people consider emergency funds for other things too, though. This could also be an umbrella term for many different things, but that's what ours is going toward. So we have that, and then we have a dog envelope here that I want to put money into because we do have 3 pugs, and they're needy little dogs. You know, they have to go to the vet for this and that, and you know, I just need some extra savings. We don't do the insurance for them just because it is very pricey, and I'm not sure we would have really truly gotten our money's worth, but I don't know that to be sure. I really haven't researched it enough, but I would like to have a sinking fund for our dogs. And then lastly, I'm calling this Christmas Club, just like the banks call it. This is going to be the savings that I have, and this is going to encompass not only Christmas presents, but also anything that we spend on Black Friday. So those are our categories. So the 2 stacks of money that I have, These are coming from really two different places at the moment. So I had $515 that I had accumulated in our previous sinking funds. So I went ahead and took those sinking funds apart and I put all the money into one stack, and I will be using this now moving forward into our 4 main categories. This here is $750, and I explained that I got a 5 days worth of personal time payouts. We have the option at work to either take the days or, you know, during the fiscal year or toward the end of the fiscal year, opting for a cash out, and that's what I opted for. I didn't use them previously to the coronavirus or the quarantine or working from home, and to be honest, I don't really have a chance to use them before the end of the fiscal. So I thought about taking the cash payout, and then that kind of solidified it a couple months ago, or it seems like a couple months ago. But anyways, I got an email saying that, you know, the direct deposit was made, and so I got $753.48. I left $3.48 in the bank, and this is what I had to bring home, $750. So what I'm going to do is organize this first. So that'll give us a grand total of $1,265 for our sinking funds. Now, hopefully I am going to not touch these for any reason whatsoever except what they're designed for. And I just said this in my previous video, and I know one of you had said you're the same way. Whenever I start, you know, accumulating money in these sinking funds and things like that, I then don't even want to touch them or use them for their designed purpose, which is kind of silly. So I used to have a sinking fund called Health, and that was supposed to be for like doctor's appointment co-pays and, you know, things like that. But I would find myself just paying that out of our regular paycheck whenever that was due. And I had to ask myself, why are you doing that? That's what your sinking fund is for. Except I wasn't really comfortable drawing from it until I had accumulated a nice chunky nest egg of a sinking fund. So that was kind of like the, I don't know, the thought process behind it. But moving forward, I may do things differently, but I would like to reach a certain threshold with each of these, and I can talk more about that later. So I have 300 in hundreds, and then 50s, I have 51, 52, 50. And then 20s, I have 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 60, 84, 20, 40, 60, 85, 20, 40, 60, 80. So 580. Okay, have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1, 10, 20, and 30. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yep, 1265. All right, so I'm gonna open my notebook, and I am curious to know if you guys prefer hand-drawn things like this. This was my recent paycheck explanation layout, and I just did this kind of rudimentarily drawn sinking fund layout. Now, I'm not sure if I move forward with this in this notebook for very long, how much, you know, how long that this space will actually allow me to keep adding and things like that. But you guys know I'm still like changing things up a lot and trying to find that perfect system, which I don't even know if that exists, but I don't mind changing things up a lot because it keeps things interesting, I think. And then when things are interesting, I'm more motivated to kind of stick with it. So we have $1,265. For me, I would say the largest categories that I'm concerned about funding are the emergency funds and the savings. Christmas Club and dogs, I would say this is like 1 and 2 and then 3 and then 4. I think that would be the order of importance at the moment. As far as emergency funds versus savings, I may kind of equally fund those because I think that they are equally as important. Savings really is, like I said, all encompassing. If it doesn't fall into one of these three categories, it falls under savings. So I would say that that is majorly important, but I'm also very concerned about building up our 6-month emergency fund at the same time. So I'm going to write 6-month here in 6-month bills. And if you guys have been watching my videos, you know that my bills total every month. Let me see if I have that here. What was it? $26.40, I believe. Something like that. So that's before food, that's before gas and everything else. So I should have that in my brain, like embedded, but I don't. So that is what the emergency is supposed to cover, 6-month bills. I'm also using my Friction fine liners. This is an erasable pen by Pilot. I did get a set of 5 of these, and I think they were like $4 something, maybe like $5. So that is the pen I'm using. So $12.65. I would like to have at least $250 in Christmas Club, because I would like to save at least $50 a month until then. So we're in May, which is month number 5 of 2020. So I'm going to put down $250 here in hope that I can add to that, you know, a lot more. So I'm gonna write $250 May 2020. I want to see a little bit better. And then let's subtract that from our $12.65. So minus $250 equals $10.15. So it would be nice if I could do 1,000 and 1,000, but that would only leave me $15 for dogs. And I don't think that's that cool. So let's go with minus $115 for the dogs. Make it nice round numbers. So, all right. So $115. May 2020. All right, and then I have 900 left, so I could do 450 and 450, but I think I want to do 500 and 400. Yeah, let's do that. I'm just putting a little bit more prominence to the emergency fund, just because you know, if you would have asked me this time last year, you know, am I that concerned about work and jobs and layoffs and losing jobs and moving around, I would have said no way. But after everything we've gone through, it just has put things into a new light, a different perspective. And so I am really, really cautious about, you know, funding these emergency situations. So I'm going to put 500 for May 2020. And that's going to leave me $400 for savings. And I don't think that's too shabby. And what I'm most excited about is when my husband does get his unemployment finally, it will be retroactive from the date he filed. And so I'm really excited to put all that money toward these funds. So that will be a blessing and a godsend. So we're going to do minus 500 and then minus 400. And that will bring us down to 0. All right, so let's start stuffing these envelopes and getting everything all set up and ready to go for when we do this again. Hopefully very soon. Hopefully very soon. So let's start with the dogs. All right, so we needed 115. So I am going to take 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, and then 110, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, are you guys somebody who has to have your cash all going one way and be stacked according to denomination? Are you like that? Because I am. Like, if I had one bill that was like this, that would send my OCD kind of skyrocketing. And I know you guys are going to be like, oh my gosh, that's so petty. But I don't know. I'm just like that. I need things to be face up. I need them to all face the same way. And I need them to be stacked in accordance to value. So here is 115. And you know what I do need? I'm going to put you on pause for 1 second. I absolutely need some kind of card to put in here to keep track of this. All right, so I just used some old scrap paper and I cut them into small little card-like shapes. So for the dogs, all right, so dogs. Okay, so May 2020. Equals $115. So I will put this at the front of the little cash stack and insert this like so. And there's our first one. So cool. I'm gonna actually put these on my little phone holder so you guys can see. This is such a handy little thing. I use this for my phone. If I'm just sitting here, like I can watch videos, but you can also like stand up your calculator or anything else. So I'm going to put my little holder to use. All right, so the next thing is going to be Christmas Club. So let's make a little card for that. May 2020 equals, what did we say, 250. All right, 51, 52, 50. Cool. All right, so that is Christmas Club stuffed. All right, so there's number 2. And then let's go to emergency funds. I'm curious, and I would love to know in the comments. By the way, I read all of your comments. I know that I'm so slow to get back to them and sometimes respond, but I do read all of them. What's your favorite kind of budgeting video to watch? Is it stuffing cash envelopes? Is it dealing with sinking funds? Is it paycheck to paycheck? You know, I'm just curious what you guys are most interested in. Those are all videos that I do, but I'm so curious, what is your favorite? Okay, so emergency fund is starting out with 500. So let's take 100, 200, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 4, 20, 40, 60, 80, and 5. And that is our first little at-home emergency sinking fund. All right, so that's that. And last but certainly not least is our savings. Am I in frame? Okay. Savings fund. May 2020 equals $400. So I'm going to be keeping track on these little cards, and I'm also going to be keeping track in my notebook. So let's make sure we have 400 here. All right, 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 60, 80, 2, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 3, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 1. Perfect. All right. And they're all going the same way, and they're all according to value. All right. So we've got that all ready to go. So there, oops, that's too wide. All right, so there are my brand new sinking funds and how I have set them up. So I'm pretty excited about this because I don't know, it's been a long time, guys, since I've been able to actually save money without the hindrance of worrying about how we're also paying down debt at the same time. So while we do still have debt, I have a student loan, of course we have car leases, and I have a mortgage. Those are just kind of, I don't know, I envision them as more investment debt and not so much I don't know. I don't really see them as negative. It's what it is. Our house is an investment, and of course, you know, a student loan means you invested in education at some point. So I don't really see those as negative. I'm not saying I love them or I'm so glad I have them, but yeah, it's what it is. And so I don't stress too much about that. The thing that does stress me the most of all is the thought of consumer credit debt, which is, you know, basically we're talking about, you know, credit cards, department stores, personal loans, small loans, whatever the case may be. And I've been all over the gamut. You guys know I have paid down quite a bit of debt over the past couple of years, and I really don't want to go back to that place if at all possible. So I think that's the beauty of the sinking fund. You know, if you really are diligent and you're putting your money toward the sinking fund and preparing for big purchases, then when it comes time to make those purchases, you can either offset the cost with some of your savings and, you know, kind of make what you're charging less, or you can pay for it outright altogether, which is something that not a whole lot of us are able to do, or that we take advantage of, you know, if we are able to do it. So I know that we've always had to rely on credit for the most part, and, you know, been able to pay it off, but still it is daunting when you have those credit bills to pay off. So I'm really excited about these, guys. I really am. And I'm hoping that I don't get laid off and that it can be business as usual very soon. And yeah, that everybody stays safe at the same time. And I hope you guys are doing well. If you enjoyed this video and you like this kind of video, please give it a thumbs up so I know to make more just like this. If you have any suggestions for me, please leave them in the comments. I really value your feedback and your input. And of course, I hope you're all doing well. And if you haven't already subscribed, I would love if you stuck around and did so. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.